Hey, it's the God Awful Gospel Hour with your host, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh and me, Donnie.
Yeah.
Should we call ourselves deacons?
The Cardinals?
The Cardinals, bishops?
Registrars.
Yeah, I don't know.
Of the God-awful
We
gospel
didn't come
hour.
up with official titles.
It's been a while to come up with a name. We were called Die Rules for a while. We were calling it I Don't Like That Kind of Talk Show
Yeah.
off of Mrs. Soprano. I don't like that kind of talk.
Yeah, we got Patrick Sirois with us.
Hey, how y'all doing?
How's it going?
Peasy.
Doing good, man. Fucking down here in South Austin. I love it.
Deep.
Deep South.
The deep,
Deep
South.
South.
Yeah.
Manslaughter.
Yeah.
The manslaughter area.
Yeah, man. This is funny. Like this neighborhood. This reminds me of like Killeen, where I'm from. When you get down here, it's like Central Texas. It's just kind of like it's like Austin has like the city feel to it. But every now and then you'll find a neighborhood. You're like, oh, this is like small town Texas.
This wasn't here.
Yeah, this reminds me of like '90s suburban Texas.
Yeah.
You can look on Google Street View from 2007 and see where Westgate ends.
Yeah.
Right there, and there's a barricade. And none of those streets where the breadbasket was or anything, this was not there. Like, it's all very new.
Yeah, this house was built in 1980. This whole neighborhood was built in 1986. So this was here, but nothing was around it. It was just
But
country
thank you.
roads.
Yeah.
Take me home.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat, for coming. We appreciate you coming.
man.
I hate anything that makes me have to be a place at a time. We were talking about this we don't go to movies anymore because we
Yeah.
got this, and then we
Yeah.
got everybody's got like a huge TV, and
Yeah.
shit comes out on 4K like
Yeah.
a month later. So nobody goes to movies anymore because I don't want to have to tune in. Like, the only thing you have to tune in anymore is streamers, and the kids are still into that, where you have to watch it when it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do they not record it? Do they not bring it up where you can watch it later?
Not on Twitch, I don't think. Does Twitch do that?
Well, Twitch can.
I would imagine it, like you can do it like you can watch it later, but there's like something like an experience if you watch it live, you can interact with it. That's probably part of it.
Peasy's an old comedy friend from 10 years ago. He's got a rap group, Vanilla Presley.
Uh-huh.
We've been talking to Lane about coming on here also, your partner. And and Peasy Patrick also has a podcast, Lie, Cheat, Steal, that's wonderful.
Yep, about liars, frauds, thieves, and bullshitters. If you
yeah.
like shit about scam artists, that's
It's a
one.
good show.
That's
Everybody check it out. Subscribe on Patreon.
Have you talked about Frank Abagnale yet?
We did, and we have a Frank Abagnale episode, and it was right around the time that his shit was getting debunked.
Yeah, right.
And so like we touched on that a little bit in the episode, but it wasn't like it was a little bit before like it's like the wide awareness that like most of his shit would have been made up.
Doesn't that make him an even better con artist?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like that's a fucking cooler story like than almost that, you know. Yeah, we did that episode of that guy. We do all sorts of wild shit, man. From like a Brazilian soccer player who didn't actually know how to play soccer and had like a 20-year long career.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he would just get traded from like club to club, and it's an amazing story because like basically he was cool. Everybody liked him. He was a good hang. It is a testament to the power of being chill.
Yeah,
it is what you can accomplish if everybody likes you. Being likable is a superpower, and this dude had it. And then also he was in perfect shape, so he was like athletic, so he looked the part, but he didn't really know how to fucking play. And at one point he got traded to this club in France. And they were like, "Oh shit!" Like this club was like, "Yo, we got this Brazilian soccer player." It was like very fashionable at the time to get a guy from Brazil.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna fucking take the cups. And so they went out there and they're supposed to have this like exposition game. And so they were like, "All right, get out there and show us what you can do." And he's like, "Shit!" The whole town's out there watching. The stadium's filled. So he runs out. And he starts like hyping the crowd up, like, yeah, what's up? And everyone's like, yeah. And then he starts kicking soccer balls into the fucking crowd. They're loving it. They're catching soccer balls. He's running inside the field, kicking the soccer balls out. Well, eventually he kicked all the soccer balls that they had. And they were like,
a great strategy.
yeah, they're like, what if a soccer ball? And he goes, he told the translator, it's okay. We'll do a strength training exercise. And they're like, yeah. And he started doing push-ups. And everybody's like, yeah.
Nice.
And he kept this up.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, he kept this up for the longest, man. And they wouldn't talk to about it. He captured the spirit of our podcast. We're pretty a lot of like scam artist podcast shit is like poverty porn. It's like, hey, this poor guy thought he could get one over on the system. It's like, fuck this dude. No, we really have the working man at heart. And so
again, just like cocaine, not a lot of success stories.
Yeah. And so we always we call it the good guy club. If somebody's like on the right side of scamming, and this dude is the president of the good guys club in our podcast lore. And he fucking like when interviewed about it, he said the greatest thing. He was like, "Do you feel bad?" And like in his little translation, it's like he only speaks Portuguese. In the translation, he basically was like, No, because you see, football clubs have a lot of money,
Yeah.
and so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, fuck them.
if you steal from them. We were just like, and he said it in kind of like the, I'm sorry, like, do you need a helmet? Are you okay? Like, are you okay, sir? Like, do you not understand they have a lot of money and we can just take it?
Oh, they gotta wipe their eyes with their $100 bills.
yeah. Those dudes
that they wipe their ass with.
Yeah, those guys buy sports cars and forget about them. Like, you know, like they're insane. It's a fun fucking thing.
So
It's a good vibe, man. I'm like, free Modelo's in. 'Cause I had some before you came and got me.
Hell yeah, bro.
We're in the fucking we're in the pad. It looks very nice. 4K Walk of Venice.
Yeah.
I'm
Walk,
just,
float.
Yeah, just a little stoned. This is how you. I was off work today. This is how you spend a fucking Thursday.
This is
Man.
how we've been doing it, son.
Yeah.
So you play GTA. I've been trying to find you on GTA.
Yeah, I don't have a dog. So like, man, you've known me for a while. I'm a pretty off the fucking grid kind of guy in a lot of ways. My girlfriend's friend's husband had a PS4 and they bought a PS5 and they wanted to get rid of the PS4, so they just shipped it to us.
Hell yeah.
And so he had Grand Theft Auto on there. So I've been playing it, and if I have to sign up for anything, I'm down. But if it means that I have to lose my free GTA game, I may have to reconsider.
So you actually have a better version than me because they just updated it for the extended PS5 edition and removed 150 vehicles. So it's just Grand Theft now. There's no more autos.
I updated it today.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They just took a bunch of shit away and added electric bicycles. 2 electric bicycles and a new plane.
Are you kidding me?
Like it's a better version of the VTOL one.
I literally deleted a bunch of the other games that are on there like this afternoon, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, man, I'm gonna get the update because it was all running all weird and wouldn't load right.
We'll have to try to play together tomorrow because I'm going to put it as the visuals in the background of this episode.
Okay.
I'll have to find you at some point this
Wait,
week.
I don't even have a fucking PlayStation account. I have nothing.
I've been playing online with a guy from Bastrop that you might know, Sean. He sells pit bulls.
Okay.
And he's
Sounds like
been
my
playing.
kind of circle.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a Bastrop comedy club. You mentioned it on your other show.
Oh, yeah,
How
yeah.
is that? Is that a bar or a brewery or what
It
is it?
rules, man. It's like it's in Flick's Brewhouse.
Okay.
Or Film Alley. It's in Film Alley. Yeah, we do. It's like he got like a whole room dedicated. Like they put up like walls, like
So
made it
just
its
like
own
the
fucking
South
place.
Austin Comedy Club.
What's that?
Just like the South Austin Comedy Club.
Just like South Austin
It's a
Comedy
piece
Club,
of a
yes.
brewery.
Yeah, a
beside
piece of a
them.
brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, this place is a piece of a movie theater brewery.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Is the beer good?
it's not a brewery. It's more like an Alamo Draft House in the sense of just like it has booze and movies.
Okay.
So they have like regular ass beers.
We've been doing Star Wars trivia during the month of May because a lot of bars have it. And it's basically just Donnie and I going and arguing about Star Wars like we would anyway at a bar, but then getting free Star Wars shit afterwards.
Yeah.
Because we've undefeated. We've won twice so far.
There's that Star Wars Clue up there that we won.
Yeah, nobody else takes it as seriously as we do, and we nerd out and yell at people and win. And the next one is at the Pine House Brewery on Burleson on the 21st if you want to come next Wednesday. I don't know if you're into Star Wars or...
Man, that is an IP I never really got into as a kid because my parents didn't watch it, so like my dad didn't watch it or whatever, so I didn't really see it. And the toys were always kind of lame.
We always have several hangers on that end up with some also free shit.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
last time-
down. Yeah. It's as far as like my interest in the Star Wars universe, I was more of a Star Trek kid.
The last one was at Dave & Buster's, and they gave us 25 Dave & Buster's dollars.
So we had 3 people with us who probably wouldn't have won without us, and they got a nice little $25 Dave & Buster's card.
Damn.
Which is like getting paid at a casino to do comedy. They give you chips. Why don't you stick around?
Yeah.
Spend this money plus more of your own money.
Yeah. I've had that happen.
Yeah.
So you're a train spotting guy?
Train Spotting, my favorite movie of all time. Yeah.
So how old were you when that was?
When it came out, I was probably like 11. That's not when I saw it.
Okay.
I was working in a pawn shop, and they had a VHS of it. I'd always heard of the movie.
Yeah.
I had no clue what it was about, and I watched it. And a lot of themes in it resonated with my life. Like, just the whole thing of, like, needing to get the fuck out of where you came from.
Screwing your friends over for heroin.
Yeah, huge part. Yeah, well, the one line that he keeps going back to, and he was like, oh, he's my mate. What can I do?
Yeah,
like dude, I
he's
mean,
my mate.
how many times I've said like the Central Texas equivalent? I mean, maybe fucking is my homeboy. I gotta let him.
Yeah, we have our own. We have our own Begbie from DC, Scotty.
Yeah.
He doesn't do drugs. He does people.
Yeah.
Scotty does both.
Yeah,
But
well,
I know
Scotty is no longer. It's R.I.P. Scotty.
Yeah.
You knew that, right?
Train spotting for Scotty Peterson.
Yeah.
I heard about that. What was it?
He was a car accident.
Dumpster fire.
yeah.
The Facebook pictures I saw of him before that happened was he was living in like a cool warehouse thing.
Yeah, he was living in a warehouse, and he was living in like this, like he had the warehouse And that's a story in and of itself. And there's like a lot of videography work done there. That's going to be a cool documentary at some point.
Okay.
They were already working on before he died.
Wow.
But then after that, it was he inherited a spice company from his grandma.
Okay.
And it was like a moderately
As you
successful
do
spice company.
on a Tuesday.
Yeah, and he fucking just like got to work on it, man. It was just like, hanging out. He gave himself like I think it was a salary of $200 a week. And he's just living in the spice warehouse and fucking make spices all day, big dog. What are you doing, man? Come on in here. I'm gonna keep up ketamine and build a food truck, and it's gonna be the best thing you've ever seen. Yeah, that man was a genius. R.I.P. Scotty.
Train spotting for me was the apex of being an Anglophile. When I was a freshman, sophomore in high school was when grunge happened, but I didn't want to be sad.
Yeah.
So I got into the Stone Roses and everything and Blur. And I was like, this is fun. Acid House is a lot more fun than wearing flannel and crying.
Yeah.
Right.
So I didn't care about Nirvana or any of that. I just would spend a lot of extra money at Tower Records for import everything and get Oasis singles and Stone Roses singles. And then, as it progressed and became more cool, Train spotting in the soundtrack especially was like the apex of like Britpop, Brit rock culture. And during that time was right when I ended up going to Europe and going to school and getting in that Amsterdam problem. And I had some friends in Scotland that I actually got jumped into a gang in Scotland. I hooked up with a bartender and everybody was like, oh, you hooked up with Fiona, but Bear's coming back tomorrow. And I was like, huh? And they were like, you fucked Fiona, but her mate Bear is coming back tomorrow. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying. And then I came back the next day and I was like, hey, Fiona. And I got a chair in the back of the head and a kicking because I fucked this guy's girlfriend. And I didn't. He was out of town and everybody was trying to warn me, like, don't come here tomorrow. He'll be back. But I didn't understand the accent. So I was like, cool, see you tomorrow.
Come here tomorrow. Yeah, come here. Yeah.
So I got a real authentic Scottish kicking in the ribs.
Yeah.
A real
like
rumdinger in the night.
a chair in the back of the head, and then the guy was cool with me afterwards.
Yeah.
So we watched Train Spotting together, and he told me what they were saying.
Yeah.
And he let me run lights while he was DJing at the uni.
Choose
Yeah,
life.
it's good
Choose a
times.
career. Don't choose my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I choose that life.
Yeah, dude, my favorite bit of like just loving the accent is a fucking Spud on Speed at the job interview. What's your biggest weakness? He goes, he's like, I don't have none. Wait, no, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Like, because it's got to be just right. If not,
I can't be bothered.
Yeah. If not, I can't be bothered.
He was great in the. Did you see the Rundown with The Rock and Stifler?
Yeah.
He was
good
great
in that
in that.
one.
He's
Yeah.
playing the bagpipes.
Yeah, he's just been like playing like every now and then popping up like when like he needs like the money gets low, he just pops up and like I'll be some crazy Scottish guy in your movie. You and Brimner.
So have you done a roast battle yet?
Yeah, not like in New School Austin, but I did them back in the day, like before pandemic. Matter of fact, one of the last shows I did before the pandemic was a Spike Club against Hunter Duncan.
Okay, I heard about Spike Club. So do you give each other notes beforehand, or
I don't know.
What if you don't know the person?
Well, so I did one with Karina Magyar and I did one with Hunter Duncan.
Yeah.
And both
There's
times
plenty to work with there.
What's that?
There's plenty to work with there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Karina had just transitioned, and so she chose me because she was like,
This is
I
10 years
know.
ago.
She was like, I know you're talented enough to write good jokes, and I know that you're also not gonna like pussyfoot around. Like you're gonna come with the heat, but it's gonna be actually funny. It's not gonna be fucking like, dick. You know.
I was trying to pally up with Karina 10 years ago because we were both dads.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, I'm a dad. Maybe you don't get made fun of for being an alt dad. And we can do dad humor and be like Gaffigan together or something.
Yeah.
And then he was like, no.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I was friends with Karina pre-transition. I was not supposed to say what his name was, but
Yeah.
But that's a close personal friend of mine. Like I can fuck around and be like, oh, I knew her when she was Chris, and she wouldn't be like, hey, what the fuck? She would
That was a
understand
really interesting
the point I'm making.
journey for me to watch all that happening at that time. 10
Yeah,
years ago.
I've had it happen with a few more friends since then. It definitely like I remember when I was younger, I had like the standard issue stupid opinion about that where I was like I'm cool with gay people, that's fine, but that's
Don't
just
hit
weird.
on me.
Yeah. And then like I fucking like I met a few people that were trans and had a friend transition and I was like, oh, and now I just now it's like I don't care, but in a good way. It's like, oh, I don't give a shit. Like doesn't bother me.
So how do you feel about the writer's strike?
The writer's strike.
Is that comedy related? It used to be, the last one was comedy related.
Yeah, it
now
was.
it's like AI or something.
Well, now it's about streaming, And like,
It's
I mean,
about revenue and
I'm all
stuff.
for fucking like I'm as I got work for a living as well, so like I can understand wanting to unionize and get that money. And other studios ain't making or aren't not making money. So I mean, yeah, fuck them. They should be able to get it because it's weird. It's like they turn and burn writers because they do these fucking 10-episode seasons.
Yeah.
Where it used to be if you got picked up by a show, it was you had a year of work, and now it's like they turn and burn you for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And you got to keep up hopping from project to project. And I've read about how that's going to have a negative impact on the fucking industry going forward because people like in 10 or 15 years, we want our next Succession or we want our next Sopranos.
Yeah.
These people aren't going to be as experienced, even though they've been doing shit for 15 years. You know, they don't know how to show run or have like this, So yeah, I completely get it. Give them the fucking money, come up off of it. Everybody watches everything all the time. And you're not making money.
I mean, it's a dream job for us. And we're supposed to support the people who have our dream job.
It
I
feels
would
like
say
the,
so.
It feels like the kind of dream job that I had when I was like in high school, where I was like, my dream job would be to make video games.
Yeah.
And then you find out how absolutely horrible it is to work for a video game company. Well, the last writer's strike was in 2008. And that one, during that time, I was watching like 15 different shows, and it interrupted all of them. This writer's strike, I'm not feeling it because I don't hardly watch any shows because most shows suck. Now. Like that's so I'm on the
He
side
feels
of the
same
writers,
way as
right?
you about the sludge pipe. He's
Yeah.
not the Hollywood cash
Right.
grabs.
I'm on the side of the writers getting paid and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, which one of these solutions will make Star Wars not suck?
Maybe
anymore?
GPT could write a better episode than Bezos did for Lord of the Rings.
Right, I know. Yeah,
Dude,
Rings
that Lord
of
of the
Power.
Rings,
Yeah,
that Lord of the Rings of Power shit was fucking a stinker, dude. I thought it was interesting that House of the Dragon and Rings of Power
came out at the same time.
Came at the same time, and they both were coming up against kind of the same criticism, same backlash. They were like, "Oh, they diversified the cast. Oh, they're going to try to make it woke," or they were like, "Is the climate even the right climate for like this kind of tone or whatever?"
Yeah.
And they had all of the same concerns stacked against them, and House of the Dragon knocked it out of the fucking park.
It's amazing what happens when the writing is good.
Yeah. It's like Lord of the Rings with dog. I watched up to episode 3, back to when that elf had to chop that tree down, and it was just so fucking dorky because he was like, I will chop down the tree, and then he swung that axe, and you could tell he never worked a day in his life. He was like, yeah, and I was like, what the fuck am I watching? And it was
He
supposed to
could
be
have
this very,
swung an axe for a day and figured it out. I mean, you can get that going in an hour.
There's no budget for that.
You can
in
figure it
production.
out.
Yeah, they handed him the axe before they shot. And he was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Donnie and my wife are huge Tolkien heads, so I was telling her that the Gollum is now $30 already. The game.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, it's a fucking book. It's always been a fucking book. It's cute that they're making movies. The New Line, the movies were good, but it's a book.
Yeah.
It's always been a book. But as far as the writer's strike goes, us supporting the people striking, to me, is kind of like Chinese cell phone maker kids supporting Lane Crarup to get a raise because he's got their dream job. They wish they were here making that kind of money to fix phones.
But I would imagine that, like, let's say if by not supporting them, I mean, first of all, my support does nothing. I mean, I'm sitting here on a couch saying, like, I'll support them. I mean, I'm not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
But, like,
you can
thoughts and
recycle,
prayers
but
is
there's
what
still freight liners spitting oil into
but
the ocean.
I would say, as somebody who I would like to, like that would be a plus for my career and a natural progression if I were to one day be able to write. And I would like for it to be fucking set ahead of time that I get what I need or I get what I deserve. You know what I'm saying? I would like shit to be good when I get there. You know, that'd be cool.
I didn't know that remote work was going to be a gateway to AI. I was thinking, cool, the writer's room sounds shitty as far as I've heard.
Yeah.
Being around the table with cunts sounds awful.
With guns.
So to do it telework would be rad. Just to submit ideas and you don't have to look someone in the face when they go, that's dumb.
I was watching this thing yesterday about it was at the end of the last episode of Succession, and they were like talking to the writers, and one of the showrunner, I think, was a British guy, and he was talking about how, like, it's like, I love a good collaborative American writers' room because there's not really a tradition of that in Britain.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, I was like, I can see culturally a writers' room not doing as well over there because they're like maybe like being too polite to swat down an idea, to be like,
No, they get in a room together and put wigs on and start throwing shit.
yeah.
They get mad. They're all on different streaming platforms now.
That's a horrible scene. OT. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love one. Thank you.
We're gonna take a pause for a beer.
All right. And we're back. PZ, do you ever put conditioner on your pubic hair?
I feel like I have. It's something I would have done before. Yeah.
I use that as whenever anybody at work asks me how I'm doing and I don't want to talk to anyone, I just TMI them right back and go, yeah, I'm doing great. I put conditioner on my pubes. I feel like I'm walking on a cloud. I feel like that could be one of those Texas sayings like, you can put your boots in the oven, don't make them biscuits.
Yeah.
You can put conditioner on your pubes, don't mean you're going to have a good day.
Yeah. I used to do a bit about, but it was based off true experience. The first time I ever used like a menthol Axe body wash. It was my early 20s when I first started doing stand-up. And I was like, man, it feels like my asshole smoking a Newport.
Hell yeah. There you go.
Yeah. It's out here fucking, my asshole's like smoking a Newport, like betting on dice and shit.
I just want to be fresh all over. I have a not so fresh feeling.
Yeah.
There's
that old David Wayne's bit where he's like, talking about a Massengill commercial where like the girl goes, do you ever get that not so fresh feeling? He's like, it'll be two white women in a cabin. And like one will turn to the other one, like, do you ever get that not so fresh feeling? He's like, what she's saying is, Janine, my pussy's stankin' all the way up here on this mountain.
Are you into baseball at all?
No.
So I'm not either. But Donnie played baseball in high school, and he's a pretty good pitcher. And I saw this thing come up on Reddit that I'd never... Recently, there's been more and more footage coming out of on the play field where there's a mic.
Yeah.
A hot mic. And it usually is with umps and refs and stuff. But there's something that happens in baseball that I was never aware of, that I never gave a shit about, because baseball's fucking boring. Sorry, Donnie. Baseball's amazing. It's America's pastime. Beastie Boys and apple pie.
That's okay.
But there was a dirty slide. You know what a dirty slide is?
Cleats up.
Isn't that where like you're hitting a chick from behind?
Yeah. I just walk up in there. I put her on the table and I just step forward.
I was like, I get off to the side now.
So if you're sliding into a base, the polite thing to do is not hit the guy that's manning the base.
Yeah.
The base man has to have his foot on the base. A dirty slide is when you, and this is what happened, slide into the base and break the motherfucker's leg with your cleats.
Yeah, it cleats up. Yeah.
And then the rest of the game could end up being retaliation. So the guy that did the dirty slide ends up at bat, and the opposing pitcher will then throw the ball at him as a retaliation.
Yeah.
So I didn't know about this, but they captured this audio from the ref and the ump yelling at it was like last week or 2 weeks ago that the pitcher threw a pitch and it went behind the dude's ass, and then the ump just called the whole game off and booted the pitcher. And he was like, no, you can't do that. And they didn't mention the dirty slide or the retaliation. It was very gangster. They were just like, we saw what you did and you know what he did and we had to get him back.
Yeah.
And like the coach of the other team was like, you know what happened? We had to get him.
We had to get him.
But the ump was like, no, but if I let it go, it's going to be retaliation for the rest of the game. This is what baseball's turning into because they don't get ratings anymore. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
So if they don't check it to begin with, the whole rest of the game is pitchers trying to hit dudes in the ass with a ball.
Yeah.
So it's just retaliation back and forth for the rest of the game.
Dude, I never been one for baseball. I like getting drunk at baseball games. I've gone to a couple, but as I say that though, it's always been like each time I went to Camden Yards to see a Orioles Red Sox game, and I saw a Red Sox game at at Fenway, and both times I ended up leaving in like the fifth inning and just finding a nearby I also saw a Pirates game, same thing. I find a nearby bar and I drink reasonably priced beers until my friends are done.
You don't want those
baseball
$9 beers. No, I was in Denver last week, and Friday night, me and my roommate went to the Rockies game.
Nice.
And we bought the $10 cheap seat tickets, and then we snuck, down kind of behind home plate, and we sat down and we're like, man, there are a lot of dudes with like rainbow shit on. Oh, it's fucking Pride Night. Me and my 40-year-old roommate that I live with in my house, totally straight, are sitting next to each other at Pride Night at a Rockies game. And one of the gayest cities in the world, by the way,
freak
Denver.
flag fly, man.
Yeah.
I went to a Braves game in Atlanta when I was little, and I thought it was rad because they gave us little bats. But we got to do the whole show thing that you can't do anymore. And then, but I thought baseball is awesome because they give you a little wooden bat that you can beat your cousins with.
Yeah.
I had one of those bats.
Yeah.
Dude, talking about just like the inherent violence of being a child. I'll always remember this. You remember the movie Three Ninjas, right?
Oh,
Hell
yeah.
Okay, so Three Ninjas came out.
3 N-words.
Yeah.
Three ninjas.
And I got to hang out with my homeboy Lamar, and we went to stay at his house, and his mom was like, all right. And you know that when you get that magic where you stay at your friend's house on Friday night, and then Saturday night, you're like, can you stay again the night again?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, you stay night again. Fuck, one of the best feelings in the world. So we did that, and on Saturday we went to go fucking. She was like, "We're gonna go to watch Three Ninjas, and then we're gonna go to the pool."
Yeah.
Fucking great day, right?
Yeah.
Now that I'm an adult, who like my ex had kids, I had to help her with shit. Like now that I've been around some kids,
Yeah.
I understand that's the wrong order of which to do things.
Yeah.
You go to the pool, then you go see Three Ninjas. Because we went to go see Three Ninjas, got to the pool. Me and my friend were just kicking every fucking kid we could find.
Yeah.
We were just starting fights.
Yeah.
Just karate
You
chopping
don't
everybody.
show 9-year-old kids movies about ninjas.
Yeah,
and expect them
specifically
to not
child
start,
ninjas that are able to beat up grown men.
Yeah, I'm older than you guys. I went and saw Karate Kid, and then we all kicked the shit out of each other in the parking lot afterwards with the crane kick and
You,
everything.
Johnny.
Because y'all drove.
Yeah.
So me and
No, all of our mothers were like, "You're not getting in the car until you stop kicking each other."
I remember fucking as I've gotten older, I know this thing I call it a badass little kids movie, and the definition to me of a badass little kid movie is a movie that's like it's PG-13, but it's still kind of risque for PG-13, and you know like when kids
Back
like
in the day, PG-13s were ours in the 90s.
yeah,
and
for
80s,
sure.
Yeah.
It's even a PG-13 movie, and it's like when like you're like just like 7th and 8th grade, and you're like about 13 years old, and you're like, "Yo, so and so's mom is gonna drop us off at the thing," and I was like, and then whatever, like for example, bodies. It was when I was like, that would be a badass little kids movie, because it'd be like, "Oh man, we're gonna watch bodies." It seems like this crazy ass movie, and you would just imagine like there's gonna be a bunch of like gel-haired 13-year-old kids that are just and like they have 5 hours to themselves and shit, like and they're running another thing. That's why me and my girl call them badass little kid movies.
Yeah.
So speaking of Pride Month, you know, a lot of the Austin work economy runs around just a series of tacos.
Yeah.
Like you can go far in this industry, any industry, by just bringing tacos and having fun and being a good guy and being funny. I've never been really awesome at any job I've ever had because I hate working, but I just show up with tacos and joke around, and I end up getting to stay for a few years.
Yeah.
I'm like the Arnold, the pig from Green Acres. Pig's got a lot of personality. He's like a dog.
Yeah. I'm off the road right now and I'm working construction, and like I'm not even that good at it. I'm just fun to hang out with.
Yeah,
you know?
they keep you around.
Yeah, I'm a good hang. Yeah.
It brings up morale.
You always
it's like
need
having
that
a
guy
big
on the
titty
construction
bitch.
site.
Yeah.
Just like Ojos Locos. Everybody likes to go there. It's fun. So I went to work last week, and there was a bag on my desk full of rainbow gummies and some Mexican loteria cards. You know, the bingo?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a tarot thing. It's bingo. But
That's the most like non-racist.
Is this
like, older
voodoo?
white guy
This is
understanding.
satanic.
Oh, y'all got me one of the, hey, is this like those those fucking witch nights?
if I hold these, am I going to be
Brujeria?
cursed? Is this the mallow hole?
But you're still somewhat excited about it. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. Is this
Oh,
one of those
cool.
curse things?
It's got candy, so it's a gift.
I'm being cultural. Yeah.
So Louis walked by my desk, who you know from Marcelino's.
Yeah.
He walked by my desk, and I was like, "Hey, Louis, thanks for the gift." And he was like, and I was putting it in my backpack. And he goes, "Why do you think that was for me? Because of the Mexican cards? Because I'm Mexican?" And I was like, no. And I reached in the bag and pulled the gummies out, and I was like, "It's because of the rainbow gummies, because you're gay." And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Well, it's Pride Month. I thought this was a Pride Month gift." And he was like, "I don't need a month. It's Pride all the time."
Luis is gay?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. So I could have gotten in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Well, this is like your boy at work. It's not just like some.
I'm not allowed to talk about where I work, but you know where I work.
Yeah.
So you can get in a lot of. There's only 3 ways to get fired. I told you earlier. Yeah. So I realized who the gift was from. It's from my supervisor. So I went into the room with her. She was having a meeting with the other 2 supervisors, and I was like, "Here's what you did. You gave me a gift with rainbow gummies and Mexican cards, and I thought the gay Hispanic gave them to me. So I told him thank you, and then he said, 'Do you think it's me because I'm Hispanic?' And I was like, 'No, because you're gay.' And then all 3 supervisors started cracking up. I could have got fired.
Yeah.
Because that could have been a huge HR thing, but because everybody thought it was funny.
Well, there's like real people in the world that are like, I get what you're saying. Well, what's funny is, so I live in the comedy world, which is a very very PC world. I don't say PCs. I don't believe that shit really exists.
It's a constant battle.
Yeah, well, no, and I'm not even tripping. Like, it's not like I don't feel censored. I don't think that PC cancel culture shit really exists. That's
Do you feel safe, though? We want you to feel safe.
Well, no, I feel safe. Here's what I say: is like people are more mindful of shit like that, and you forget when you get outside of like comedy and Twitter how real people don't give a fuck or think about that shit half the time. And so, like, a perfect example of this, I was
private sector civilians.
Yeah, years ago, I was at a training for fucking Time Warner Cable. And I was sitting there, and like the lady was doing the training. It was a call center job, and you can get fucked with, you can get yelled at. And they were talking about this is a day where they're discussing like how to kind of like emotionally deal with that. And so, I'm just like knee deep in the comedy world, and this lady goes, "All right, so guys, I know like all my male coworkers, you guys can take abuse on the phones, but ladies, we're emotional, right? Ladies, we like to cry." And in my head, I was like, "Oh, they're about to drag this bitch," and every woman in there was like, "Yup."
Yeah.
Like,
It's okay for you, but for us, it's different.
yeah.
Gay guys get away with all that shit. They don't even have to pay attention to the sexual harassment thing. They just show up and like, "Hey, Karen, I love your tits.
Yeah.
Right.
Your ass is really popping in those pants today,"
I
and
have
it's
shared
all
a
right with
workplace
everybody.
So many casually racist gay white men. Like, that's where they stumble. Is when I lived in Connecticut. Connecticut is a very there's very a class dichotomy in Connecticut. It's like pretty wide.
Yeah.
And like I would like work with a dude at at the mall for AT&T, and there was and he was this gay dude. He was a cool guy. We used to party a lot, but he was like definitely would get this like small town Connecticut kind of like racism that would come out one time. There was a bus stop that would take people from inner city Hartford out into West Hartford to go to this mall. It's called West Farms Mall. And so, like, that's where you get, like, if you like, there's a bunch of hood motherfuckers walking around the malls, like, that's where he would say they probably came from. Yeah. And so one day, we all had to fucking have an HR meeting because we all got called because it was like we were in the break room one day and somebody was like, they put that fucking bus stop in here at the entrance near our stuff, near our entrance, and he was just like, oh yeah, I think they should move that. They're like, oh, because like it blocks and it crowds. And he goes, no, they should put it across the fucking street so they don't come in our store.
Dang, back
So
of the
those
bus.
people,
Yeah, those people, and like it was very like I was on day off and I got a call on my work phone and I was like, oh, that's an AT&T related number. I picked it up. I was like, hey, this is HR. Do you have 5 minutes? I was like,
we need to ask you about something a coworker.
yeah. I was like, oh shit. And they were like, does he say things like this? And I used to like do blow with the guy. Like I loved him, but he was definitely like a fucking racist cunty gay man.
Gay dudes are rad because they can get pills.
Yeah.
Just don't do those pills with those gay guys.
Yeah.
Take the pills home and do them yourself later. It'd be better if the gay dude was the assistant manager, because then his business card would say ass manager.
Yeah. He was the assistant manager.
Nice.
But we had a fleet of 4 of them, so we called them all our managers. Yeah. He was the ass manager.
So there's a new Michael J. Fox special on streaming platforms. Speaking of Donald Trump, called Michael J. Fox Still, which is strange to me because he can't stay still.
I think that's the joke.
So he has that
Still
would kind of be like Kevin Spacey having a show called I Don't Fuck Boys. Like, here's the thing that I don't do good.
Not being gay and assaulting 14-year-olds. So
Yeah.
that's the name of my special.
So we have a buddy that hangs out. You'll know who I'm talking about, Donnie. He's young. He's athletic. He's handsome. But he hasn't.
He was on our last episode.
Yeah, I didn't want to go that far. But he complains because he hasn't been laid in a few years, and he's always complaining about this. He has a dry spell, but he's got everything going for him. He's on the apps. He's swiping up and down. He swipes left and right. He's trying to swipe down because
I think he even meets up.
Yeah,
that's a whole step right there.
He keeps trying to swipe down because he wants to.
He meets up.
He tries to swipe down because he wants to look at the girl's feet, and it doesn't show up on the picture. It's like, why can't I swipe down? Because he's a foot guy.
He's a pedophile, not a pedophile. Yeah.
And boy, and we're really fighting for some distinction, some visibility.
Yeah, right.
It sucks that they hijacked the word.
I think he doesn't get laid because he has nervous dick energy. Like, there's big dick energy and there's small dick energy,
Nervous
but
dick
it's like
energy.
if you complain about your itchy elbow on the first date, then she's gonna know that you are not gonna be able to get it up.
Yeah, the fucking optimist and like the romantic in me likes to think that one day he will go on a date and be like, God, my itchy elbow, and some girl's gonna be like, I have a cream for that in my purse, and they're gonna fall in love.
You know where he's gonna find that girl? J-Date.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh God, my itchy ear. It hurts sometimes.
He just converts to Judaism because like they complain just as much as he does.
So my
A dude on the Venice 4K walk was just like adjusting his dick and then saw the cameraman and then second adjust.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like, bro,
he's got that European confidence.
Yeah.
The Mexican talk show cameraman that always zooms in on the legs.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm trying to see what the lady's saying in your upper dress.
Dude, I listen to a lot of Dateline, and I love Keith Morrison on Dateline.
Is that the guy that Bill Hader loves?
Yeah,
The guy's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
She did what?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm telling you, so a lot of Bill. Like, I'm not saying I got the best fucking impression of Keith Morrison,
Right.
But every impression of Keith Morrison out there, they lack the fundamental understanding of Keith Morrison. I listen to a lot of Datelines. I'm a road comic. I was on the road. I listen to a lot of
You
podcasts.
have a lie, cheat, steal podcast. You got to be.
Yeah,
up
right.
for all the
I
scams.
stay up on the content. Is that Keith Morrison is his whole thing is like he's 30% horny. This whole time, like
nice.
because everybody makes him sound serious like this.
Yeah.
It's not. You listen to it. It's like he has like I will fuck your aunt
Yeah.
energy. He's like a new town nestled in the mountains. A new girl moved in. Small. Petite, 5'6", brunette. Like describe every woman.
In every interview, there has to be at least 2 or 3 shots of him just eye fucking.
Yeah.
Whoever he's talking about.
Do you know
yeah.
he is Matthew Perry's stepdad?
I did not know that.
And I like to think that at the depths of Matthew Perry's alcoholism, he was just like, come on, Matthew, get yourself together. I'm in here giving your mom the business like she's never had it before. And I've got to open up the tabloid papers and read about my stepson getting kicked out of a cheesecake factory or whatever. I don't know what fucking is.
He's going to rehab the
Yeah,
4th time.
Making fun of Keanu Reeves because you're so out of touch that you forgot that the public opinion on him has gone 360 and people like him again.
Matthew Perry put out a book where he kind of made fun of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
And
he was like,
then he
why?
had to apologize. He's
Where
like,
are you?
I was wrong.
I was
Everyone
wrong.
loves Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
So
He thought this was like 15 years ago with
Yeah.
like the Keanu sad sandwich meme.
Yeah.
He was just like,
Well, it was the old joke that was because of the freaking Dracula.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I have offended you, Count.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that,
He's trying to be an edgelord and get canceled
Yeah.
like everybody else.
yeah, it's like the everything is turned on Keanu. You know.
Have you ever seen the fucking Chris Kattan SNL audition tape where it was his character was Christian Slater and Interview the Vampire, and he just goes, "All right, so you're a
Jack
vampire."
Nicholson. Just a young Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
I eat breakfast 60 miles from vampires. We were doing bits about Jack Nicholson getting Me Too'd because he doesn't remember anything anymore.
Right.
Like, I don't know who that girl is. Polanski was a side piece person. I wasn't sure what he was ever doing.
I think she was a waitress.
Just trying to watch the
Oh
Knicks.
no, that was a movie.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. She lived in Southie, and I was a crime boss. Like, you really know that's.
He's like mixing up his roles
Yeah,
with
he's like,
reality.
I don't even care anymore.
You can't handle the truth about my pedophilia. So we went and saw Adam Friedland at the Cap City
Ah, yes.
last week.
Yeah, probably the best time to see him because it's right in the middle of all this Taylor Swift shit.
Yes,
He's Forrest Gumping right now
Yeah.
on current events.
Yeah.
But afterwards, it was your roommate's birthday, so we were going to go out drinking, but there was a huge storm. So we went to Brick's Pub here on Manchac and
Yeah.
Slaughter, and we got there, and there was a tow truck all the way across the parking lot, so we had to park behind it and walk out of the rain under the awning of the strip mall to this pub. And there was this guy standing there watching his car get towed.
So I guess that was his car then, huh?
I think so.
He's like, and he was complaining about
He
they
was in
won't
front of the
even do
Domino's.
anything. He was
Yeah.
talking about the Bricks Pub people.
He was in front of the Domino's, and he was like, you better eat at Domino's or they'll tow your truck. And we went past Domino's and went to Bricks, and he was like, you better eat at Bricks and they'll tow your truck. Then we got to the pub, and the door was locked. There was all these people in there. So we were like, hello, open the door. And they came and unlocked the door, and they were like, sorry, we have to lock the door because there's crazy guys out here yelling at people. Don't talk to him. Don't let him in here. He's going to accost everybody. So we were like, okay, there's, I guess, just homeless people everywhere in Austin now just yelling at people. That's just
We're getting
part of-
friggin' accosted over here.
part of being in a parking lot now.
Yeah. Well, dude, I have my opinions about tow truck drivers. I believe they're class traders.
I would agree with that one. Actually,
I do not like people who obviously if you like work for a place where it's like, hey, my car's burning out, come pick me up. That's one thing, but the motherfuckers that buy those fucking contracts to tow out of apartment complexes and shit like that, scum of the earth.
That's one of those. If they don't do it, someone else will. Somebody's gonna fill that in.
I
maybe
can't be
they'll run
talked.
out
I can't be
eventually.
talked into sympathizing for, bro. So one time, for example, I used to live in this apartment complex, and I pulled up, and they had the like very faint lines drawn on the fucking thing. And I pulled up, and I guess I was double parked, and I went upstairs, and I literally unloaded groceries, and then we like sat there. I think maybe we smoked a bowl. You know what I'm saying? We were going right back out.
Yeah.
We unloaded groceries and then came back down. Fucking truck was towed.
oh, that's line him up against the wall during the revolution. behavior.
Yeah. It's like when this shit pops, you're fucking first, dog.
We lived in an apartment in Virginia called the Dulles Green Apartments. It was right next to the airport, Dulles Airport.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we heard the tow truck drivers in the parking lot on their CBs going, Dulles Green Bandits. That's not the name of the tow truck company.
Yeah.
They were joking about how they were getting everybody out of there.
Fuck 'em.
It was kind of a high-class joint. It was new, and they were getting people for expired stickers. They were towing people out of your spot next to your house just because you had bad stickers.
Yeah.
So the apartment complex had some deal where they were like, you can't have a vehicle here if it's illegal, and they were letting these tow truck drivers. So my roommate, we were outside drinking tequila, and they came and towed somebody's car, and he decided to be a white knight, and he was like, you can't tow them. They live here. And he was like, I'm just doing my job. And he jumped up on the hood. The guy was towing the car towards him. The truck's coming towards him. He runs up the car onto the hood.
Hell yeah.
Stands on the cab, and then jumps down, and he's like, take the car off. And the guy goes, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah.
So,
that's how that goes.
of course, how tequila is, my roommate was like, call him.
Yeah.
I'll wait with you. You're in the wrong. I'm right. I want to watch the cops arrest you for breaking the law. So for the time that it took the cops to get there, we were like, dude, come on. Let's go home. Leave this guy alone. The cops are coming. We're drunk. You're fucked up. You stepped on his car. And he was like, no, I'm right. I don't give a fuck. Bring the cops. I'm going to explain everything to them. They got there. They said, what's going on? The tow truck driver said, that guy stepped on my truck. They said, let me see your flip-flop. They took my roommate's flip-flop. They looked at the top of the
They
car.
did some real forensics
They
with
were
him.
like, okay, you stepped on his car. That's property, whatever.
Yeah.
And they arrested him.
Oh yeah, man.
And he was furious the whole time. I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, I'm not the one. That's what sucks. Is they that's why I say they're class traders, because they have the fucking they know the people on their side. It's like they're willingly
Bottom
going out there and
feeders,
just fucking with
scum of the
people.
earth. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, they had
I
this.
have a tow truck and you don't.
Yeah, I have a tow truck. You don't. That's where.
Cops with guns.
Yeah. Well, dude, my dad when he got out of the military for like the last like 6-7 years of his life, he was a cop. It was very weird because at this point we were on opposite sides of the law. It was very odd to have my dad become a cop in the town that I was in.
Yeah.
He's arresting my friends for fucking felony handgun charges and shit.
Nice.
And so years later, after everything is said and done, I'm still friends with some of the people that he knew, and this one lady just request me on Facebook. I add her, and she's like, "Hey, I just want to tell you that like." We knew your dad. He was such a great man. Blah blah blah. And I was like, all right, cool. That's what she's like. They retired his badge number out of Nolanville PD. I was like, all right, cool. And she was like, yeah, well, I don't think you know if you knew this, but like the new chief gave somebody his badge number. He unretired it, and they made it sound like this dude came in and was like, who? Pat Sirois? Fuck him. Yeah. He just like, I talked to the guy. I called him and I had a conversation. He was like, I didn't fucking know it was retired for that reason. Nobody told me. I just unretired it because we needed a new badge number. So I became friends with this lady on Facebook over this. And there's a lot of like when my dad became a cop, he met a lot of these cops and they all fucking sucked. I don't like them. Yeah. And when he passed away, they tried to say that he was married to his girlfriend.
Just hall monitors.
Yeah. They tried to say he was married to his girlfriend, and we had to take him to court for my dad's estate. And I was like, fuck these guys to death. Yeah. But anyways, so these motherfuckers, like, I met this whole little crew. And like, there's like hangers on in the cop community of people who like, they're not cops, they want to be cops.
Yeah.
And so one of these
tactical gear.
Yeah, one of these guys is like, it's the tow truck drivers that always arrive on the scene when they arrest somebody or whatever. They get to know the cops, and that was this lady and her husband was one of the tow truck drivers. So I'm friends with this lady, and I just get to get a peek into that like mindset all the time through her Facebook post. And one of them that she posted recently, it was like, you know, they have the Blue Lives Matter flag with a line, and then the Red Lives one. So apparently there's like some meme was like, you know, there's a whole color code of these, and it was like all these ones was like, white is this, that, and there. Is it orange for tow truck drivers?
There's a thin orange line.
The thin orange line, and her fucking background photo is a thin orange line flag because her husband serves as a tow truck driver. It's like, girl,
heroes work here.
Yeah.
The orange stripe is named after the vest that you never put on.
Right.
When you're supposed to put the car in tow.
Yeah. It's like, dude, not all heroes wear capes. Oh, my husband does wear a cape as a tow truck driver. It's very weird. Nobody likes it. We're all mad about it. We're all like, honey, don't wear the cape.
All right, let's take one more refill break.
Refill break.
And we're back.
So I heard a radio commercial today for AIDS medication. And it said, this AIDS medication will get you down, your T cells down, or whatever the thing is, to undetectable. which I wouldn't pick that word to market medicine after post-COVID. COVID made everyone
You still have it. You just can't detect it.
COVID turned everyone into a doctor. If you invited me over and said, I've got COVID, but it's undetectable, I would not come to your house. But apparently that means like untransmissible through sex.
Yeah.
Which they should just say that.
Undetectable
is not a
Well,
good
I'm sure they can say what they can say, and they can't say what they can't say.
COVID didn't turn me into a doctor. It turned me into a medicine marketing guy. Like, don't use the word undetectable. That's like Spider-Man can turn invisible and still fuck you up.
It turned me into the guy trying to debunk Alex Jones. I have so many friends where I'm like, that's not actually.
Yeah, dude. I was on tour. Fresh out of fucking COVID. This was like summer 2021, and I was on tour, and we had a show in Pocatello, Idaho, and then we had 3 days off before we drove to fucking Oregon, and so my manager just put us up in a fucking hotel in kind of bumfuck Idaho, and so we were out there we go to this bowling alley across the street from the fucking hotel because it has a bar in it, and we walk in, and there's a chick behind the counter, and I asked, "Hey, do y'all close at 11?" And 1.3 seconds later, she was into a conspiracy about how the fucking how the vaccine changed your DNA. And I was like, damn, she broke a land speed record because she was literally I was like, hey, do y'all close at 11? She's like, yeah, we used to be till 2, but now because of COVID things, and I don't even know about that, and I ain't getting the vaccine because I heard it changes your DNA, and then you no longer have human rights. And I literally I wanted to hit my stopwatch, beep, goddamn girl, you broke a land speed record. I asked you, what time do y'all close?
From 0 to Nature Valley granola bars, how fast is your life falling apart?
That's part of the physics equation now. I think it's time to COVID conspiracy theory.
So speaking of COVID conspiracies, the Travis County put out a statement last week that said during Pride Month, we're offering free marriage certificates to LGBT, which I don't
trust that at all.
I wouldn't in a red state register myself as gay.
Yeah, hell no.
Because they already, they're checking your email signature and taking your health care away.
Yeah.
So
that's two fucking local elections away from being fucking night of long knots.
Plus, marriage certificates have been free for LGBT already.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Because they want you on paper.
Yeah. It's like, come in here and claim this boat.
Yeah, so they can snatch you up. It's like Nazi Germany going, hey, pride for Jews.
Yeah.
Just come out of the closet and register your...
cute little star.
It's great to be Jewish. Come out and proclaim it and be proud. Put it in your email.
We'll put a nice little stamp on your driver's license.
We want you to be proud and say who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't trust. I mean, I just as a point of survival, I just don't really trust cops in general.
No, or the government.
Cops, government instinctively lie to them.
Mine is more. I kind of agree with Bill Burr on it. It's like the 23andMe. I'm like, why would I send my DNA?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. So I did a 23andMe because I have a big fascination with ancient history.
Yeah.
And when me and my chick started dating, I was talking about how I used to watch this YouTube video that if you didn't know me as a person and you stumbled across it in my YouTube search history, you might think it seems racist, but it was human haplogroups and migrations and shit like that, and where human genetic history and stuff. And I swear it's all above board. But this shit fascinates me, just the idea that through genetic research they're able to tell that not only did Siberian populations cross the Bering Land Bridge into America, or the North America, but also North American tribes went back and populated over there, and that's why we had so it's because it was a 10,000 year process.
Yeah,
interesting shit like that. I like it.
So what did you get? What are you?
So I am exactly what the fuck I thought I was. I'm fucking half French, half Irish, and it's literally so my chick is half
Patrick Sirois.
Yeah. Patrick Sirois. Yeah, exactly. I'm exactly what my name implies.
It was changed to Ellis Island from Baguette Surrender.
But
Frenchie McGillicuddy.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is, dude. It's just Ireland, literally Britain as in Britain, around London, like specifically around London, and then all of France.
Yeah,
and that's my shit. And so but it was funny, she got me that, and then so she got one for her. and my chick's half Mexican, and her shit is so cool. It has all these little things like
so diverse.
Yeah, it's like so diverse. And I was like American
so
Indian
much colonization and rape.
Yeah, and my shit is like how the fucking circle is just blue. It's like all around the world has different like colors. Like Asia, I think it's like purples and shit like that, like various shades of purples. Europe, Northern Europe, it's just blue. My shit is all fucking blue.
You're lucky you're not any Swedish, because most of us are like at least a little bit.
Oh, there's a little Icelandic, Norwegian shit.
Yeah, everybody got raped.
There's a little bit of Viking pillaging going on.
Yeah. You can't be from England and not have a Viking ancestry.
But, I mean, the other thing is that if you're a white American, it's always like, "Ooh, I'm 32nd Cherokee." Like,
you know what's so funny is so French Canadians.
I want some money.
As much as Americans do it, French Canadians, of which like that's what my family like culturally identifies as French Canadian, at least my dad's side. Of that, a big part of that, all of it tells us the same way white Americans talk about being like quarter Cherokee and shit like that, is French Canadians, because there was such like interbreeding between French and Indians. It was like it was a big fucking. They were cool with each other.
They were in the middle of nowhere with each other. What do you think's gonna happen?
Trap and Foxfur and shit.
Yeah. So you can make them do a land acknowledgement at Buzzmill.
Yeah. But so they would always like.
Excuse me.
In my family, it was always like, oh yeah, we're French Canadian, and with that. What separates French Canada from French is that we have like native blood, and I got that fucking DNA back. And no, we do not.
There's nothing.
We also don't have as much French blood as we thought, because there's no way I can have as much Irish and English shit if my dad was 100% French Canadian.
Yeah.
And both my mama and papa were born speaking English. English was their second language. Like they were born in America, but still didn't speak English until they were later in their life.
Oh,
that's how French Canadian they are.
Yeah.
We have 2 of those spit kits at the house on the shelf from National Geographic. They get one where you can spit in it.
Yeah.
But I don't trust it. I'm like, I'll jizz in it and you'll get a probably better accurate.
Yeah, no,
I want it to be really accurate.
It goes against a lot of my cool
cum
kid
and
cred,
figure
but
it
I definitely did it.
I'll spit in it, but I can give you something better than spit if you want. I'll
Yeah.
send you some jizz and you can really fucking figure it out. I mean, I already know where my whole family is from. We all did all the research. I mean, it's all Viking. It's Scotch, Irish, Jew, German, Cherokee, American, Hungarian, Jewish. It's a mutt. We're mutts.
Dude, I was on the road and I was doing a show in Gillette, Wyoming, at a really fucking cool. My guy booked breweries, wineries, and distilleries. Some agent booked, and this was at a meadery, a place that made mead. But so we were there, and like the dude who ran the place is this tall, like gorgeous motherfucker. He's just like this blonde hair, blue eyed Viking ass dude. Yeah. And I was on tour with my boy Colin Cook.
Can you jizz in this?
What's that?
I need to see where you're from. Can you jizz in this?
Yeah. Can you jizz in this? You know. So
I don't believe you.
Yeah. And so my boy Colin Cook I was on tour with him. And Colin Cook is like the most Irish. He has like a little pugnacious little Irish face, and like his mom is like from Belfast and shit. Like he's
nice.
like straight up Irish.
Yeah.
And
Potato famine, wife beating Irish.
Yeah. We get there, they're talking, and like they're talking. I just remember thinking like this dude, because he had all his like Viking shit up, and I was like, oh yeah, this dude is clearly like pretty much genetically Norwegian, and Colin is genetically Irish, and they were like standing next to each other. It's like, man, I see why y'all got smacked around back in the day. Like, it was like this dude just rolled through.
It's like the Northman versus little the dude from Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah.
The little kind of like
that little motherfucker.
Yeah, the one who's half special.
Yeah.
We have a theory that football changed names in Ireland and became soccer because that's what you do to your wife after watching a soccer game. There's soccer in the mouth.
Ireland's the other place that calls it soccer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Because they're like, hey, beat your wife.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, they're like, Dublin lost to London.
Yeah, dude, there's a fucking there's this Irish comedian, I don't know his fucking name, but he has a video where he's like Irish guy trying to fake an American accent, and he walks in and he goes, hey guys, I got some real awful news. The boys were involved in a trolley crash. One lad's gonna be grand, but the others, they don't think it's gonna be. Like, oh hey, you're watching the football game.
There's a couple Ewan McGregor movies where he got hired to be an American, and it's horrible.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like that guy's a moron. He's like, dude, try harder, try a little harder. Well, you went to acting school.
Yeah, he had to do the American accent in Doctor Sleep, and every once in a while it would slip just a little bit, and I'm like, you're in Train Spotting.
Yeah. One of my most favorite accent slips of all time is in Forrest Gump, when he sees Jenny at the Washington Monument, and he yells Jenny once, and he yells it again the second time. He's full Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
he goes Jenny. He goes Jenny.
I saw you across the reflecting pool and thought maybe you could be a Bo Peep toy with me.
Forrest Gump. I love that.
So all the anonymous comedy accounts I have set up for the aggregate TikTok and all this shit, they ask for your gender. So I just put she, her on all of them. So if I ever do get in trouble, I can be like, I'm a woman.
Well, you had it as they them on one, which makes sense because if there's two of us, we are they them,
Yeah,
right?
we're too fat for the scale. Are there two of you?
You get on the scale. It's like, hey, one at a
Both of
time,
y'all.
please. Yeah.
Be like, man, this is like a cheap fat joke. Be like, damn, it's your pronouns they them because you weigh like 3 motherfuckers.
My favorite new one. Well, I have two. It's let me she them titties,
Yeah, hell yeah.
and then the jokes write they themselves. Those are my two favorite ones about pronouns.
Glenn Rose, an Austin comic, who is gender neutral and goes by gender neutral pronouns. I love them. They're one of my close friends, but their name is Glenn, and they were making a joke where they were like, "Oh yeah, my name's Glenn, and my pronouns are Glenn."
They got to do a skit where somebody trans robs a bank, and the bank teller is trying to be politically correct, and they're like, "They had a gun."
There were more than one.
How many were there?
Well, dude, the one part that like fucked me
They
up one
came
time.
in here and they told everybody to get on the ground. Was it a squadron?
Yeah.
I was talking to a comic one time. They were talking about a comic who I think was one of the best joke writers in Austin. I don't know if they're very active anymore these days. Their name was Robin, and somebody was telling me about one of Robin's jokes, and they're like, they did this and they did that, and for like it was like a drunken mugshots conversation, and for like the first 5 minutes of that conversation, I legitimately thought they were talking about an improv troupe. I was like, oh, it was like a group of people doing this. You know?
Yeah, they're real funny, those guys.
Yeah.
So we are trying to do a recurring theme on this show about restaurants that if you could time travel back and go to, like if somebody asked me if I could time travel, would you go back and kill Hitler? Well, yeah, but first I would stop at Italian Delight at Fair Oaks Mall. Because I have a time machine. I can still go back to before. There's no rush.
Yeah.
I've got all the time in the world, and I need to have
That's
some
one of the
pizza
things in
first.
fiction that involves time travel. There's always this thing of getting it right again. It's like, no, you have infinite tries.
Yeah, you have all the time.
That's what Bill and Ted did. They just kept doing it over and over again, and putting these keys on the desk because they fucked it up the other time. So Copper's Cove, Colleen, is there anything that's closed down that you used to go to as a kid that you wish you could go back?
Let's see. Yeah, so like for emotion, I wish I could go back to China Star. There's a buffet.
This
China
is
Star's
Donnie's
fucking
same
dope.
thing with Abilene. It was a bunch
Yeah.
of Chinese
We
restaurants.
had a buffet named China Star in Abilene. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't think it was an uncommon name. There's one place though that was actually good, and I worked there. It was called Crazy Canadian. It was a hamburger joint, and the guy, he was like an HEB stalker, and he was like this dude. His name was Michael Goldstein.
Stalker?
Was that?
Is it
Yeah,
HEB
HEB
stalker?
stalker. Yeah, he stalked. He loved HEB too much. But he was
the best place to meet
HEB
chicks.
stalker, and he was from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and he was like a fucking. This is dude, and he took a year of leave of absence off of from HEB and
He was
started this
skimming
restaurant.
groceries off the top
Yeah.
to start a restaurant in the stock room.
He was one of those difficult dudes to work for. He's a fucking
Sorry.
I will represent him at one point in a comedy thing that I write because he was just such a character.
Hell yeah.
And but yeah, he also he made some pretty good fucking burgers, man, and they were really good. And I would like to go back to that place.
That's one of my favorite things about Michael J. Fox is Spielberg found him and was like, I need a nebbish Jew that's not Jewish. I found a Canadian guy that's funny, that can act like an awkward Jew, and is not going to stereotype all of us. He's just a white Canadian dude that can act awkward.
I think that Michael J. Fox was probably the perfect 1980s protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like Back to the Future. He was 1985 in human form.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude,
Teen
I
Wolf.
Watched Dodgeball the other day.
Yeah.
And Dodgeball was I love that movie, by the way. It's fucking great comedy. What's funny though is that so Vince Vaughn's character in Dodgeball is like one of the last times that the character in a movie, in a comedy, was just the coolest guy in the room.
Yeah.
Now every comedy guy is like, he's a nerd, he sucks, nobody likes him. Yeah. They're like, it was like Dodgeball's like, no, it's Vince Vaughn. He was a loser. He fucking ran a gym that was failing, but he was like 6'3" and he was kind of funny, so he fucked the chick that was there to audit him. And like now that would be the villain.
Right. It's funny how those patterns change
yeah.
over the years, right?
We use that dodgeball bit for men's mental health. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. If you have feelings as a man, you're gay. You're not allowed to have it. Nobody makes me feel my own feelings. That's why there's so many school shooters. 'Cause
Yeah,
no
right.
men's mental health.
Nobody, man.
There's a place in Austin called Camarones Burritos on 45th and Burnett.
What's it called? Come on these burritos?
Yeah, come on these mounts. It's delicious. But they have horrible customer service because the food is fucking awesome. And this
Yeah,
is
they
the
can
same
afford
thing
it.
they have in common with my favorite time travel restaurant, Italian Delight. The dude was an asshole. It was a dark Italian place in the mall with like meat hanging from the ceiling and red and green leather furniture with brass buttons. And you go in there and ask for a slice, and the guy's like, whatever.
Yeah.
He's just such a piece of shit. And there's a lot of taco places like that around here where they're horrible customer service, so you know the food's going to be good.
Yeah.
You'll be back. It doesn't matter how we treat you.
Yeah.
You're coming
Dude,
back.
there was, man, I love this place to death. It's called Taco Mex. It's up on Manor Road. It's a walk up window. Yeah, by Sandstone Apartments.
Yeah.
There was week-long stretches where I ate every meal from fucking Taco Mex. And I would go there, and that guy, as much as I went up there, there was the daytime guy, very nice, very friendly. The nighttime guy never acknowledged that he knew who I was. I was like, bro, I've been coming here like a dozen times a week for 5 years. You have to know who I am. But then I fucking kind of like tricked him one time because I would always ask for menudo. And he go, oh, no menudo. And finally he goes, look, man, it's no more menudo. And I was like, so you know who I am, though? You know who I am, though, right?
You'll see
Okay.
me tomorrow, bitch.
Don't
Got
get it.
you.
Because he would just, you'd be like, let me get 3 this, 3 that. Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. He just closed the window. And it could be 30 seconds or it could be 15 minutes. But he was 5 minutes.
So we were playing Street Fighter 6, the new Street Fighter. Have you seen this?
No, I'm not.
So everyone's simping over Cammy now because they brought back the old school outfit with the thong.
Oh, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
now
You got
in
that
4K.
camel toe.
It jiggles around.
Yeah.
So my 10-year-old son was playing it, and he was like, "Oh my God, she's caked up," and I'd never heard that phrase before.
Yeah.
And I was like, 1, that's awesome. 2, I'm gonna use that. 3, don't tell your mom she's caked up, but your mom is caked up, son.
I don't know where that comes from. Like where? Yeah,
Cake?
where did that come from? Like,
I think it's like it
cake
just,
is butt.
Yeah.
I think it's
buttered
it's one of those
biscuits.
things where like shit just like evolves.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like, oh, you're cheeked up.
We gotta look
You're
at
che-
Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, you're cheeked
Yeah.
up. You're caked up. You know, so you got that cake. You got that
Yeah.
that bread. You got that. You know, what I'm saying that flour. You
I
got
think
carbs back
It's
there.
from
you know what
George
I'm saying?
W. Bush. It's about the yellow cake.
Yeah.
Weapons of mass destruction. She got a couple weapons
Don't
of
drop
mass
that
destruction
shit.
down
I mean,
there.
you
Pray
know
to
that
God, you don't drop that shit.
I think it might hit the dad point now if you start saying it. Then
Yeah, I know.
It's
I
not
can't.
Cool
Yeah, I don't want to
anymore,
be
right?
an alt dad and ruin it for everybody.
The new thing as far as like, I'm a little in touch with the youth just through and you have it's
You're on TikTok.
yeah I'll be out there.
You're Chinese
Yeah,
now.
it's the wagon. She
Yeah.
got a wagon.
Shag
Oh, she got a
wagon.
wagon. That
Yeah,
one makes sense.
She's got a
right?
wagon.
Yeah,
Like she's,
yeah.
you see, guys watch Succession.
Yeah.
So you can
Shiv?
yes. So I literally Googled or I searched on Twitter the phrase Shiv got that wagon.
Yeah.
And it was just hundreds upon thousands of tweets.
yeah.
Shiv got that wagon. Yeah. And like so yeah, well there's wagon and there's like and then like any variation you can do with that, like it's like, yo, man, she's carrying that luggage. You know what I'm saying?
Well, junk in the trunk.
Well, yeah,
from
it's all
back in the day.
it's all derivative, you know.
That's another old Texas saying. I worked with this old dude, and he saw a girl with a fat ass, and he was like, "If I had a swing like that in my backyard, I'd take it apart and see how many screws I could get out of it." Like, God damn, dude, that was long. That was a thinker, but I was keeping up.
Oh man.
So you guys have a bunch of Lie, Cheat, Steal episodes about churches,
yeah, churches come up pretty often.
and I happen to have gone to Liberty University.
Oh wow.
So I really enjoyed the Hulu documentary In the Name of God Forbid, whatever, the new one about the church. That
Yeah.
shit was going on when I was there.
Yeah.
The power was being passed from Jerry to his son.
Oh, is
'cause he
that
was
is that
getting old.
about the
I did not know
him
you
jerking
went to
off in the
Liberty
corner
University.
while the guy bangs his wife and all the
Yes.
he owned all the
Yeah,
little
it's on
businesses
Hulu. It's
and-
called God Forbid.
I'll have to pull that one up.
It's great.
Yeah.
But when I was there, we put a rainbow flag on Jerry Falwell's Suburban and got and they had church 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday you have to go to convocation.
Yeah.
It takes up time when you should be at college going to class and getting a degree. But they had to like rededicate your life to Christ and everything. It was fucking church 3 times a week for an hour.
That's fucking insane.
And one of those on the Wednesday after we put the rainbow sticker on the Reverend Falwell's Suburban, they said someone desecrated the Reverend's vehicle with a homosexual icon, and we know.
This is Freddie Mercury on the
And they did that old cop shit where they're like, we know who you are and who did it, and if you step forward right now, your punishment will be less. Yeah, we knew they didn't know, so we put our hands behind our head like Han Solo and leaned back and we're like, let's wait and see if.
Yep.
I mean, we're not going to step forward. But Lynchburg, Virginia is in a triangle of cities where the Ku Klux Klan started in Georgia as an anti-wife beating association.
Yeah.
Where if your wife shows up at the grocery store with a black eye, they burn a cross in your front yard and they go, we know what you're doing. And as it moved closer to the Mason-Dixon line, it became more about something else. And just like in Vidar, Texas now here, they have a sign up that says, don't go out at night. And it's kind of a warning.
Yeah. Well, that's an old thing. I have a Vidar story when you're done.
Okay. So in Virginia, there's 3 towns, Lynchburg, Blacksburg, and Christiansburg. Blacksburg is where Tech was. I went to visit all my friends.
I've toured out there. It's a fucking beautiful country. It's out,
Christiansburg is UVA. So they added a burg on the 3 of those towns. So it used to say on the map, Christians lynch blacks. As a warning to not even go anywhere near the Tri-County area.
Yeah,
like
holy
go
shit.
around. Before I-95 was there, you couldn't just zerp through.
Yeah. Dude, they fucking so I was in a show in Beaumont recently. And I'm out there, and so I'd been on the road for like a while, and my voice was fucked. And so I kind of lost my voice. I sound like this a little bit. And I was like, I was
coat.
What's that?
You need a throat coat.
Yeah, I need a throat coat. I need a sleeping
talking
time
to that
tea. I need
Viking
that little bear in the fucking sofa. But so I was like, hey guys, so I lost my voice. I was like, yeah, you know how I lost my voice? And this fucking this guy, I was like, you know how I lost my voice? I was like, oh, what's a town y'all don't like? And this guy goes, Vidor. And I said, oh, here's the thing. I was actually up all night screaming, fuck Vidor. That's how I lost my voice. And so I got like a laugh or whatever. And this lady raised her hand. And I was like, yes, ma'am. She goes, I'd like you to know that I'm the mayor pro tem of Vidor County. And some people laughed at her. I could tell they weren't laughing with her. They were laughing at her. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, all right. It's like, I made like one more joke about her later. I was like, really? This is about dishonesty being the best policy. I was like, right, politician lady?
Pro tem.
Yeah, but apparently,
how long you're there.
Apparently, she was like one of these like recent like red wave like I'm gonna get into local government and fuck shit up real quick.
Little Marjorie Taylor.
Yeah, she's like the Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's like this winery in Beaumont was the staff was all like LGBTQ, and so like, the dude was there. He's a very extravagant Southern gay fat guy who's wearing like long flowing clothing. He's a really majestic man, and he was like, "Yo, fuck her. She was a goddamn." Barista 3 years ago, and now she's fucking doing this. And I had no problem with the working class getting to politics, please, by all means. But it was just funny because it was like, oh, that's one of these new like, oh, I got to get out there and fight for the fucking, fight for that. I'm going to get in local government.
I saw on that Facebook group.
Yeah.
They're taking our rights away, all the rights that we have.
Yeah.
They're coming. They're coming for all 100 of them, and we're only going to have 10,099 left.
Yeah. Right.
So Trump has been almost about to go to jail for like 10 years now.
Yeah, right.
This has got the record for like dude almost about to go to jail for the longest. But for a day there, it was almost looking like him and Bam Margera were going to go to the jail at the same time, which would have been rad if they were in the same cell. This guy's a jackass. And Bam's like, this is Bam Margera, and this is fuck the president in his ass.
I'm going to call April from jail and put Trump on the phone. Oh, this is going to be good.
Mixed with YMCA. This guy's a jackass. So Donnie has a friend that wants to get married, but she only wants to marry the top 10% of men, which is cute.
All
she wants to.
all 10% of men.
Yeah, both of them.
Let's just say standards are very high.
Yeah,
right.
but the top 10% of men don't get married because those dudes are rich as fuck, and you don't give half your assets to someone who doesn't think right.
Yeah.
Like, that's like hiring a werewolf as an accountant. Like, it's like giving half of your Fortune 500 company to someone who's bipolar. Nobody does that. I mean, it's the same argument about having a woman president. You have to wait till after menopause so they can make good decisions.
Well, that was the old Ollie G joke thing that he said. He's like, yeah, but then like Secretary of State would be Brad Pitt. It's just the most like dumbass chauvinist idea. Yeah.
Yeah, the vice president's going to be a trans, and you can kill me, but you're just going to open the pronouns up for everybody. So you remember the old thing from church where if you put a frog it's about sin, how sin creeps into your life.
Oh,
if
you put a frog
in the
like
water,
turn the water up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this says a lot about the type of people that believe in that kind of stuff. Who's boiling frogs to eat? This is West Virginia, Kentucky bullshit.
And all.
Yeah.
Bones, organs, everything.
This came from some old tale about how to eat frog legs.
Yeah, who's just putting frogs in a pot and slowly increasing the water to see what happens.
Here's an important
the
lesson.
funniest thing about like analogies that like as I get older, like make this fucking sense. Where it's like it's like people can use an analogy to like obviously you gotta have like some sort of abstract thinking, but it's always funny where they're like, all right, let's just say it's about like immigration or whatever, and they're like, so if I have these M&Ms right here, and one of these M&Ms is poison, and I want to eat all the M&Ms, if I eat one, if I just didn't eat any of the M&Ms, would that be good? It'd be like, and I remember like seeing that when I was like 16 and being like, "You guys make a lot of sense." And I'm like, but we're not fucking M&Ms. Like nobody poisons M&Ms. Like it's just like it's not a 1-to-1. So analogies are just very funny because like I had a friend who could not have a simple disagreement with you without comparing it to World War II.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. And he was that guy, and he'd be like one time, like all of it was me and my two friends, and all of our girlfriends got in an argument, and we all had to navigate that. And we were like 19 or 20, so we're also stupid. Yeah. And like Justin would always just be like, okay, let's say I'm Germany. It's 1938. You're France. Derek is, I don't know, Norway. And like,
You're playing Risk now in real life.
Yeah. It's just like, man, none of this makes any fucking sense, man. What are you doing?
Here's how sin creeps into your life.
Yeah.
Say you're trying to fuck your cousin.
Yeah.
But she might be your sister.
And you go a little bit further.
Now,
you guys
gotta
are
go
flirting.
jizz in a tube and send it to National Geographic and find out if your cousin's your sister or not. And then the frog is boiled and we all have dinner.
Man, what kind of fucking West Virginia like gambit is that? Where you're like, hey girl, I know we might be cousins and we want to have sex, and I think we should know first if we do it. So could you jack me off into this fucking into this spit tube from fucking 23andMe?
Francois McGillicuddy.
Hey, I got the results back. Turns out we are cousins. Good thing we didn't mess around with each other.
I just got my DNA test. Turns out we can't fuck.
Turns into that scene from Joe Dirt. It's like,
yeah.
Turned out she wasn't my sister. And then they have sex again. I'm your sister.
So
you had a great old bit about court pants that you don't do anymore. Do you still
I
do
do
that?
court pants. Yeah, I still do court pants. It has evolved.
Okay.
Now it's well, I still do the court pants. Like,
I want to burn it. Your special's coming out.
Yeah. I still do that, but like I go into this whole thing about like a legitimate court pants story. Yeah. Where I fucking where I went to
This is my favorite Peasy bit.
Yeah. But I won't burn the court pants bit on here, but I fucking went out and did this one where I was
We have 2 listeners. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I talk
6
about
subscribers on YouTube.
a real court pants story where I fucking I had a I was losing weight. I got to the point where I could pull my pants off at night and not undo the belt. Yeah. Like if you're drunk or whatever, you just pull them off, and then I could pull them back on the next day without having to like undo the belt. And I was like, "That's a fat guy milestone." I was like, "So one morning, I throw my court pants, didn't realize I still had a belt in them. I put on another belt." And then
you were double belting. You were Final Fantasy.
Yeah. And then I'm right. Like, have you ever? I was like, you ever gone through a court metal detector with 2 belts? Instant conversation. I was like, they want to know what's happening. And it was like, yeah, well, things didn't go good in there. I was gonna hang myself.
Or not, you never know what really happened.
I'm like, that's not really a joke you can make in a court metal detector. They're kind of required to take it seriously.
I may or may not have Epsteined. You don't know. Your thing back in the day was you can tell how bad your life is falling apart if your mom calls your church pants your court pants.
Yeah. So you do make bad decisions in life. Your mom
From
calls
zero
your
to
pants,
Nature
your
Valley
pants.
granola bars. How bad is your life?
Oh, man.
Nice.
So do you have plugs? Anything's coming up?
Yeah, man. So I just you asked me, right?
Yeah.
So I am going to be doing a monthly show at South Austin Comedy Club called Saturday Pint Live. It's going to be June 8th. Rochelle McConico is going to headline.
July
8th. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be back in time.
We're going to go back party.
Yeah, I need you to go back.
You have a show 3 weeks ago.
You got to go back in time. You got to get a magic Italian. And then you got to kill Hitler, and you got to come to my show.
Yeah.
But so we're going to be at South Austin Comedy Club. It's going to be at 9:30. It's a Saturday. We're going to be kicking off as a monthly. It's going to be really fun.
Are you going to need me to pick you up and bring you to that? It's very far south.
No, I will. I'll have my car fixed by then.
I'm willing if you get me in.
I worked.
I'll do it for a free ticket.
I worked 6 days a week for the last 2 weeks, and so like I changed my spark plugs the week before, and this last one I do one more thing to the car.
No, that's
and
awesome.
Last Sunday, I was like, I worked 6 days. I was like, I'm not fucking leaving the apartment.
No,
today.
when I was doing
I'm not
comedy 10 years ago, it was because I wanted Austin comedy scene to be something. And now I started again because I want South Austin comedy to be
It
something.
just became more federated, more like local.
Austin comedy is fine. They don't need my help.
Yeah.
Yeah, South Austin Comedy Club, man. It's
We
gonna
have a
be Saturday
large
at
group
Pint
of
Live.
people south here that are very happy to support South Austin
Yeah,
comedy.
let's do it.
Yeah.
July
And we're
8th,
going to
baby. Come out and see
secede
us.
from Austin and become our own January
yeah.
6th. We're going to do an insurrection against the mothership
Yeah.
and tell them that we have our own goddamn government
Yeah,
down
we're gonna
here.
be alt comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have to move south if it gets too big.
Yeah.
I might have to. I'm gonna do it for rent reasons. Who knows?
I don't cross the river unless you pay me $10,000, Linda Evangelista style.
All right. And your podcast?
My podcast is Lie, Cheat, and Steal. It's available on all streaming platforms. We talk about liars, frauds, thieves, bullshitters. It's non-murder, true crime. It's scam artists. Anybody using weaponized dishonesty. If that sounds interesting to you, check it out. We are on Twitter at LCS Podcast. We're also on TikTok at Lie, Cheat, Steal Podcast. And we are on Patreon, and it's at Lie, Cheat, and Steal Podcast.
And Vanilla Presley is on Spotify.
Vanilla Presley is on Spotify. It's my comedy rap group I did with Lane Crayrup. You can also check us out on an old episode of Johnny Bananas' First Look on NBC.
And you guys are steady on Spider Shit's Golden now?
Shit's Golden with a house band. So the first Monday of every month, we're going to be doing songs
So
over
you're
at
north
Spider
and
House.
south. You're getting stretched.
Yeah,
wide
dog,
open,
I'm all
baby.
over. I'm catching it one way or the other. And this dog's going this way, this dog's going this way. I'm in the middle. Like, what do you want from me?
Your bio says on tour all the time. So
Yeah,
North,
yeah.
North
Yeah, it's always
Austin,
there.
South Austin.
All over. Right? I'm off the
Central.
road. I'm off the road till like early next year because I was
Montopolis.
just getting tired of it.
And check out Josh on Grinder. He's at Gay Dad on Twitter.
Daddy dance. I got my
And,
daddy dances.
And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
I don't like that kind of talk.